Man, one thing's for sure, Rlaarlo sure knows how to package an RC car. Hey everybody, look what we got. We got one of the new Rlaarlo AK-787 on-road cars. So this vehicle is touted to be roughly a 160 kilometer an hour vehicle. That's about 100 miles an hour. But if you read the box, it does say after upgrading the gears and electronic parts. So we're not quite sure how fast this car is going to go in stock form. But I'll tell you what, the box is heavy, the packaging is great, and I'm excited to get inside this thing, so let's go. Be nice with this, don't need to tear it off of here. All right, look at this packaging. It's all kind of indented here, nice logo. I mean, you could use this box for something else. This is pretty cool, if you had a drone or something. All right, the unveiling. You ready? This is like what's in the box from Pulp Fiction. I hope it comes out gold. Ready? Ooh, wow! Look at this thing. All right. So the first thing is this little guy here, to our most valued guest. Kind of a nice little touch. Just a little card saying thank you for the purchase. Blah 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 blah. That's a really nice little touch there from Rlaarlo. Okay, we're going to go through kind of the accessories first before we get to the car, because they did send a second. So this car in stock form, again, we don't know how fast it's going to go. We're going to test it as it is, but they also sent us stuff like a second battery, a second motor, a second speed control. All this stuff can be inserted into this car to make it a 100-mile-an-hour car. So we're going to check that out. So anyway, so here is the VS120. It's a second speed control. It's also another motor. This is a, I don't know the KV on this, 3660. So I'm assuming these are duplicates of what's already in the car, but we'll check that in a minute. And then another 3300 2S hard cell lipo pack. We also got a set of what looks like foam tires. Those are probably what we use for when we put the dual motor system in this. Okay, we're gonna go through what's up here as well. If I can get this open. This is like a super killer case here. So it looks like a second motor mount system, or a dual motor mount system maybe. Oh, they also did send a gyro. So we may need to install this when we do the dual motor thing to try to keep the car under control when it's doing 100 miles an hour. And then, of course, something else. Oh, a couple more parts. Let's see what else we got. Oh, geez. So I'm assuming that is the spur gear. And I'm assuming that's the pinion that goes with it. That's almost a 1-to-1 ratio right there. That's pretty crazy. They gave us 2 pinions and then this thing here. So this is going to do some serious speed with that stuff on there, if we can keep it in a straight line. Go through the paperwork real quick. I know you want to get to the car. So do I, because I haven't seen it yet. But this is the other stuff that we got to go through. They send us a beer opener, can opener, bottle opener, an empty bag. Probably had the bottle opener in it. Looks like an antenna tube. Looks like some spare gears, tools, stickers, spur gears, if you're going to run it with a single motor. Wow. Very nice catalog. So there's the dual motor setup there. Okay, so there you go. So there's the dual motor setup there, and there's the 2 batteries, so 4S. Looks like you put this servo on the top deck, and then maybe the speed controls run on each side in between the motor, or in between the center drive shaft and the batteries. So this is an upgrade and parts guide, full color. That's beautiful catalog. Wow. And then their very nice instruction manual. Again, full color. Parts for all the replacements. All right, time for the vehicle. First thing we're going to look at is the radio system. It's a 2.4 gigahertz radio system. Pull that off there. How do you get in here? So it does have, it's not a digital system, it's all analog, but there's some of the controls on there. Nice. I mean, it's, you know, basic, but I would think for like a 100-mile-an-hour car, it'd probably be a little bit better, but we'll see. Should be pretty fun. Should be fun. All right, now for the car. Oh my God, this thing's heavy. So here it is. Now this car had, as far as I know, it had 2 options you could have got it in. You could have got it in the blue and white, like the Minolta, the old Minolta LMP car, or this one, which is, for those of you who know it, the Renown was kind of a Renown on, I think, Mazda's 787B or something like that. Paint job looks great. Extra details look good. Wing. All right, so let's check inside. So for a speed run car, surprised they put mirrors on it, but you know, it looks cool. All right, ready? Boom, look at that. So you can see, oh, it's a full carbon chassis. So you can see all these extra slots out here. These are where the batteries are going to sit up on their ends. The speed control go here. The servo obviously gets mounted up on top. We'll have to do a whole detailed build thing of moving all this around. Speed controller's not down. That's got to get that fixed. First glance though, it does look pretty good. Tires seem like they might be a little hard. But again, until we get it out and run it, we don't know. All right, so let's start with the features on the front of the car. All right, so up front, we're looking at a nice foam bumper, solid mount here. Solid mount on the front, full carbon chassis. Lots of additional slots to rearrange the electronics to get it for the dual motor 4S pack. Carbon shock towers, aluminum shocks, short throw shocks. Those feel good. The suspension is kind of bizarre. They're not A-arm suspension. You remove the screw here, these probably slide in and out. Just camber. Adjustable turnbuckles. It does have, it's kind of hard to see down inside there, but it does have anti-roll bar up front. Dual bell crank steering system. Servo's nice and quiet, nice aluminum arm there. Does have a servo saver up front here. You can tighten that down. Kind of the speed wheel, the air ducting front brakes caps here. Probably looks like that once you take this off. Tear up the dirt. We won't be taking this in the dirt, I don't think. Again, the tires feel pretty decent. They're a little soft in the middle, a little hard on the outside, but the overall compound feels pretty decent. Everything about this car is like top notch. You got aluminum standoffs for the battery. Let's see how the battery goes in and out. Nice little padded area there. Nice swivel, that's kind of nice. You can see the aluminum center brace for the drive shaft. It's a 2-piece drive shaft. Swinging it around to the other side, you have the servo there. I'm not sure the specs on the servo, but I'll get those posted up on the video. Receiver goes in here. This is a pretty big receiver box for just the receiver, so we'll have to take this off and see what else is in there. You may also be able to put the gyro in here too. Maybe that's why it's so big. Another 120 amp speed control, fan, nice big wiring. I don't know if these are plugs. Yeah, they're plugs. So it makes it easy to rewire that if you need to shorten these up. Again, another 3660 brushless motor. It does look like it is a censored unit. There's a wire here that goes to the motor. I can't really tell if that's for the sensor, but it looks like it might be. On-off switch. Carbon top deck. Oh, I saw this in their promo thing. Check this out. It's got a servo back here that adjusts the wing angle. Kind of has a little bit of a diffuser here. Pretty thick arms. Shocks mount at an angle instead of going in this way. They kind of mount that way. That's kind of interesting. Aluminum arm mounts. It's got a lot of stuff going on here, and it's still got some good detail. Look inside the wheels there. You still see the brake discs and the rotors. Carbon rear tower. Adjustable upper arms here. This car has got a lot going on. If anything, it's super cool looking. Ride height seems a bit high. And it doesn't look like you could, oh yeah, you can lower it a little bit more. There's little provisions to lower the back at least a little bit. I'm not sure about the front. You can lower the front slightly. It's got front and rear gear differentials. Kind of thick, maybe thick grease in them. No center diff, like I said, it doesn't have a center diff, it just got the center drive shaft. I think that it's got a metal motor mount, and I think that the center is, no, it is not a diff, it's just a solid spur gear area. There's no center diff on this. So before we wrap this up, let's take a closer look at the body. We didn't really get a lot of look at the detail, but once I pull the plastic off, we see things like rubber bungees here to hold the body clips. All of this, what you think, because it looks so nice, is stickers on paint, but it's not. It's a single printed body. But they got it so centralized. I mean, look at the X's like dead nuts right in the center here. All these are not stickers, it's all printed. Very nice, got a lot of these little indents here. And, I don't know if you can see inside there, it's got nice little buckets for a light system. Kind of a cool touch. So we are pretty excited to get the Rlaarlo out running in the current configuration. 2S battery, single motor, the way it sits. We're thinking maybe 50, 55 miles an hour, probably. I don't know what the gearing is, but I'm sure it's probably gonna hit right around that. We're a little nervous about the 4S system and the dual motor. Though that kind of configuration in a car that's not designed as a speed run car, that never ends well. We don't want to trash this car. It is a really good looking car. We even love the carbon chassis. I mean, that's beautiful. So again, we're a little nervous, but we're excited at the same time because we want to see what the performance potential of this car really is. So please stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon because you're going to want to be notified of future videos in this series because this may be a lot of fun. All right, so it looks like it went 30 miles an hour. So 30 miles an hour on a 2S battery pack with the stock system. That's pretty good. This car's pretty fun. It's not really good at slow speeds. Anytime where you're rolling in the throttle, you're turning it, it's not really that great. It's a little slippery. Probably just the tires. The tires just aren't designed for that. But amazingly, once it gets up to speed, it is super stable. Like I can drive at full speed, no problem. I gotta get it there first, but and 30 miles an hour, that's pretty decent on 2X for a car that's $299. We do have a 3S battery we're going to put in this to try it as well. We're going to get to that in a minute though. I'm going to burn off this battery because I'm having a pretty good time. check out this cool thing though. So there's a channel on the radio here that when you turn this channel, it rotates the wing. How crazy is that? So I've run it a couple times with it high, with it low. I didn't really notice that much of a difference, but it's a neat little feature to be able to do the wing. What would be really cool is when you give it throttle, link it to the throttle channel. When you give it throttle, the wing goes up and down. Like when you give it throttle, it goes down. When you brake, it goes up. I may have to put that, I may splice them together to see if I can get that to work, but that'd be a cool option than having to reach in there. This is kind of fumbly. So one other thing I did have to do though is the radio was set at 75% dual rate for the throttle, probably to allow new people to kind of get a feel for the car and not give it 100%. I moved it up to 100%. When I did that, the car instantly became a lot harder to drive, more power, but at the same time, it also was quite a bit faster. That's how we hit the 30 miles an hour. So we're gonna run back, we're gonna put the 3S in this thing and see how it works. Let's go do that. All right, so we've run 30 miles an hour on a 2S, time for a 3S. Let's see what this thing does on the 3S. Whee! Center drive shaft launched out of it. The screws came out. So we're gonna see if we can find the screws, put it back together, see if we can't get this thing running again. So, track, start. Okay, here we go.
I think we're, nope.
Hold on. 57 miles an hour. That is impressive for a car that already, turn around and look where it stopped. So our first run on this thing, we came down, I put on the brakes, it didn't slow down, and it ran into this curve, what, 20, 25 miles an hour? Probably pretty hard. Let's go over and look at what happened to the car. All right, so the first thing we had an issue with is the front bumper. We smashed that up. We actually lost one of the light buckets. It's screwed in place, and when it hit, it kind of launched the screws out. So what we went ahead and did was just remove all of it. That way it'd be easier trying to makeshift it back in. Second thing that happened, front chassis. Took a pretty good hit right there. But it was all bumper. Chassis is just a little marred up, but the rest of the chassis looks great. No stress marks, nothing like that. The third thing, well, speed controller came loose, but that's an easy fix. The third thing was these two screws came out that hold the center drive line in place. And as I was driving and the drivetrain was moving, the screws came out, the center drive line came out back there somewhere, making it two-wheel drive. So what we did was we kind of had to be a little creative. We took a screw out of the front bumper, screw out of the back bumper, put it in there, and boom, we're back in business. Now, we ran the car on 3S with damage, and it still did 57 miles an hour. That's pretty impressive. Again, low speed, it's a handful, especially on 3S, low speed, it's a handful. But once it gets up to speed, it's amazingly stable, like amazingly stable. Drivetrain is great, radio seems great, even the antenna, which doesn't have a tube on it or barely sticking out, had range all the way down to the end of the parking lot. Tires seem a little bit better once they kind of wear in a little bit. Steering was fine. Actually, for a speed run car, it's great. It'll be fun, especially on something a little bit better than this dusty pavement. For just kind of a play car, it's gonna need some new tires. Now we do have the dual motor setup that Rlaarlo sent us for this car. As you saw earlier, it's got the motor mount, speed control, and battery. So we're gonna try and stuff it in this car and see if we can hit that 124 miles an hour. All right, everybody, so thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos. We're gonna have a lot more content on the Rlaarlo AK-787. As for now, I'm not done yet. Still got a 3S battery pack in it, fully charged. We have the speed checker in it. We think it's got more than 57 miles an hour in it. We're gonna go play. Catch you later.